Before the Gregorian calendar, which is what we have now, we had the Julian calendar.
Which he basically invented for himself.
The reasoning is unclear, but a lot
Sounds
of
like he was like, I want to be the calendar.
I don't even think
it's gonna be me, the
bitch.
calendar.
Yeah, Nazis are pretty f***ing gay.
Yeah.
Lady in the Trans podcast. Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science. Science will solve all the problems. That's the trans agenda.
Trans people in science gonna save the day.
Solve the problems with us. With science. Science, bitch.
To my trans agenda, I'm returning trans.
Hi, and welcome
Hello.
to Lady in the Trans podcast.
It's the Lady in the Trans podcast.
Hi.
I'm Lady.
And I'm going to be the person that did research this time, so be patient with me.
Everybody get ready. It's going to be exciting.
I'm a little nervous because it's usually you do the
So,
homework.
I mean, if you fuck anything up, we'll just do it again.
That is true.
What are you teaching me about today, Laura?
So today we are going to talk about the Gregorian calendar and why it's stupid.
Because it's December 31st, right?
Yes.
It's the end of the year.
It is.
And we were like, could we do something sort of timely in terms of the type of episode that we're going to do for today? And then you had an idea about how we organize our calendar and like why and whether or not that is at all related to patriarchy.
Which it is. And the Catholic Church.
Hey, spoilers. Yeah, basically like, why is it this way? Why don't we resolve it around the moon? Why is it more based around the sun? Like, why? Just why? Why is everything the way that it is? And it turns out it all correlates with gender shit.
Yeah, it does.
You ready to tell me all about the calendars?
About as ready as I will be. Basically, the way we keep track of time is based in patriarchy, and it's stupid, and it doesn't actually make sense.
You're telling me that our 12-month calendar is patriarchal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
It's stupid.
I'm excited.
And also lightly based in capitalism. We'll get into it.
I can't wait to get angry all over again.
Yep.
That's the best thing about doing this show is that every episode makes me angry about something. And
Yeah,
it
me
does
too.
wonders for my blood pressure.
Yeah, knowing the reasons behind why our society is the way it is, typically, I mean, it's supposed to make you mad if you really look into it because it's all bullshit. That's what I think.
I'm livid.
Yep. Already? We just got started.
Yeah, look at me. Can you tell?
Yeah, no, look at Chloe. She's basically breaking shit. Now you sound like Luna. Luna's the dog,
Yeah.
for anyone watching.
Yeah.
So we have a solar calendar. That is what the Gregorian calendar is. That is the calendar that is widely used across the world.
Right.
There are some cultures that use a different calendar, but for the most part, we're all in the Gregorian calendar.
And it's because it's trying to divide the year into 4 seasons,
Yes.
and 12 is a nice number that can split in by 4.
Yes. So it's based off of the sun,
Yeah.
which solar sun. Yeah, you know.
Yep.
And then there is also 2 other types of calendars. There is a lunar solar calendar, which
Okay.
is kind of a hybrid of both where it follows the moon, but it still considers the sun as well.
Sure.
And then there is also a lunar calendar, which follows the cycles of the moon. Those are usually 12 months and sometimes 13, depending.
13 would make more sense.
Yeah. I have imposter syndrome doing this.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I used to ditch class in school, so like doing an assignment where
it's
I
not
had
an
to,
assignment.
it is. It's not the same thing, but like
you learned some shit, and now you're gonna tell us about it.
it's like school. This feels like
it's like
even
doing a presentation.
when I was like researching all this, I'm like, I feel like I'm doing homework, but this was fascinating. So like,
Yeah.
the first 5 minutes, I was like, it feels like work, and then I started looking at shit. I was like, oh no, this is fascinating shit, and then I got really
Because when
into
you
it.
look into something you're actually interested in, rather than the curriculum
Yeah.
assigned to you by patriarchal colonialism, like,
Yeah.
it's a lot more interesting.
I'm going to take you back in time.
Sounds great. Do you have a magic school bus?
I wish that would be cool.
That'd be sweet.
School buses are expensive.
That's true.
Don't ask me why I know that. I've looked into it before. Anyways.
Okay, great. Good to know.
We're going to go back to the very last phase of the Stone Age. It is called the Upper Paleolithic, I believe is how you pronounce
That
it.
is Paleolithic, yeah.
Yes. So the Upper Paleolithic period was when humans first conducted regular astronomical observations of the moon.
Okay.
So they were noticing the phases of the moon. We weren't tracking time yet. This was also a time when we started becoming more like modern society in a way. It's, like we were like making our own tools. And there's this sculpture I found when I was looking into this. Like people were making art and sculptures and stuff.
Okay.
The Lowen Minch
Okay.
ivory sculpture. So it was from between 40,000 years ago and 35,000 years ago.
Okay.
That sculpture.
So yeah, it's old.
Yeah, it's made entirely
It's
of
early
ivory.
days. It's made entirely of ivory.
Yes, it's an ivory sculpture. Yeah.
Interesting. Had we used an elephant that was already dead, or did we kill an elephant?
I would assume at this time it would be woolly mammoths.
Yeah, but like, did we stumble upon one and we were like, let's make a sculpture out of this tusk? I mean, there's no way that you would know the answer
Yeah,
to this
I don't think
question.
anyone knows,
But
yeah.
I'm just curious, like, were we killing elephants or...
I'm sure they still were. They had to eat stuff,
Yeah, but it's like, why would you eat the friends?
Oh, are we going to do this right now?
No, it's just elephants are elephants are one of the only species
are.
that also worship the moon and track the moon cycles. So since we're literally talking about moon cycles, I'm wondering if there is a connection between humans noticing the moon, elephants noticing the moon, and us making a moon sculpture out of an elephant. There's gotta be some crossover.
I don't know if it's that deep, Chloe. We just got
It
started.
has to be.
Oh my God.
It must be that deep. There's no way to know the answer. But
There's not. Build a time machine. We'll go back and ask them about
that's
it.
the first place I would go. The next time someone asks me, if you had a time machine, Chloe, where would you go? I'm going to say, I'm going to go to when we made the first ivory sculpture of...
It wasn't the first ivory sculpture. It was just a sculpture that was discovered from that. But
What's it called again?
The Lowen Minch.
I'm gonna go back to the Lowen Minch, the day it was carved. A couple days before that, I'm gonna ask whoever's carving it. I'm gonna be like, hey,
Did you kill an elephant about this? I'm like not talking to my mic. Like, hey, did you kill? Jesus.
no,
Christ.
I'm gonna figure out who it was, and then I'm gonna go back in time one more day every day until I figure out where that ivory came from. I'm gonna follow her backwards in time. I'm gonna do a tenet. I'm gonna reverse entropy.
You're gonna use your time machine
Yes.
to go interrogate the early humans of the upper
I don't even need to
Paleo-
ask them questions. I'm just gonna watch. I just need to know. What's the deal? What happened?
I guarantee you they killed a woolly mammoth or something.
Well, that's sad.
Bitch, the animals die every day.
Well,
You're one of the most empathetic people towards just any living thing that I know. And I'm glad I don't have that high of a level of empathy. I do feel sad when like animals die, but I'm not going to build a time machine and go back to the upper Paleolithic period and
wanna know. I just wanna
interrogate all
know-
the cave people
I
about
just
if
wanna know
they
if I could save that elephant.
ethically took the
Change
ivory
the
from...
whole course of human history.
Woolly mammoths had ivory for their tusks, right?
Probably.
I don't actually know that.
I don't either.
I would assume that's what elephants basically evolved from.
Might have been a whole other species. Might not have been a step on the path. It might have been convergent evolution. But I don't know. I'm assuming they look like they're relatives.
They do, yeah.
So like probably. But
Yeah.
you never know.
You never
A
know.
lot of things look like they're related and have nothing.
That's true.
Because sometimes it's just like evolution is like, well, this shape is really useful. So on multiple areas of the planet, we'll just happen to create this shape over and over. You'll share no DNA.
I feel like I'm learning more shit from you than me now.
It's like where the theory comes from that like all species will eventually evolve into crabs. Because it's like one of the perfect... I don't know that there's any merit to it, but
Yeah.
it's
What's that one thing that's like 400 million years old and has never changed or
the
evolved?
trilobites.
Yeah, the little like
Yeah,
spidery, crabby
little-
thingies.
for Pokemon fans, it's
Yeah.
Kabuto.
Yeah,
Those things are lit.
they know what's up.
Why evolve when you're perfect?
Yeah, true.
That's why cats will never evolve.
They're like, liberals aren't going to like this, but this is peak male physique. Or whatever. Have you seen
Yeah.
those memes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. liberals hate this, but cats are perfect. Yeah. I think liberals like that.
Okay. So a scholar named Samuel L. Macy dates that
Samuel L. Jackson?
When I was reading the name, my brain did that too. I was
Yeah.
like, Samuel L. Jackson? Motherfucker.
The motherfucking moon!
Samuel L. Macy dates the earliest use of the moon to measure time back to 28,000 to 30,000 years ago.
Okay.
Within the Upper Paleolithic period. And I know the Upper
So
Paleolithic...
this is after that statue came about.
Yes. And the Upper Paleolithic period started 50,000 years ago. That was when it began.
Sure.
Just to give you the time frame.
And they call it the Upper Paleolithic?
Yes, the Upper Paleolithic. I forget what the other two, but there were 3 subdivisions of this era of the Stone Age. It was like the middle, I think, and then
makes sense.
something like, some
Earlier, lower, or bottom.
Yeah,
or
I think
something
lower might have been the,
boring.
Yeah, I know, right? But
Even early makes more sense than lower. But I guess if they're learning about the eras from the rock,
geology, yeah.
like layers of rocks.
So the Upper Paleolithic leads into the Holocene. It is the current geological epoch, which began approximately 11,700 years ago. And that was the end of our Stone Age. That was the last glacial period.
Yeah. So far.
So it concluded with the Holocene glacial retreat. So ice sheets were melting.
Yep.
It started 19,000 years ago, accelerated around 15,000 years ago, and it melted glaciers in Europe and North America primarily. So it was like a natural form of global warming because there's the man-made kind and then there's just nature taking its course.
The nature taking its course one just happens much slower and gives life time to adapt, whereas ours is like, oh yeah, in 100 years we're just going to raise the temperature of the planet by 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oopsies.
We did that really fast.
My bad. At least we have money.
Yeah. Not
That's
much
literally
good
what-
that's going to do is the natural disasters get worse and worse and worse.
That is currently
We're
what
living
we're dealing with.
in LA and we started the year on fire and we ended it underwater. Shit's
Literally.
crazy.
No, I have a friend that lives in Wyoming and they usually have snow, it's not like crazy snow like in the upper Midwest or anything,
Right.
but
None
they
this year.
had
It's been a weirdly hot winter.
Yeah, they had some weird blizzardy shit that happened kind of at the beginning of it and they're like, "Oh, we're going to have a crazy winter." And it just stopped and they have not had snow. It's sunny out just fine and it's December. It's usually hella snowing there.
Well, it's been fun while it lasted, y'all.
Hopefully we'll fix it. We'll see. Next few years are going to be interesting. A lot's been happening.
We gotta get rid of the billionaires first.
I mean, that's what everyone's talking about, so we might be onto it.
Hey, let's do that.
Yeah, it would be great. So, the Earth's axial tilt adjusted at the beginning of the Holocene, which responds to rapid growth, reproduction, and just impacts of the human species because, shit's warmer. People migrate, reproduce, do stuff.
The tilt determines the intensity and duration of our seasons.
Yes, it does.
So
it does.
Yeah, if that changes every 21,000 years, it switches from the highest to the lowest tilt.
I don't know specifics about that. I just learned what that was the other day when I was researching it.
Yeah. Well,
So in a lot of early human cultures and little societies, I mean, this is kind of true even to Christians and people that also believe this, but sun is equivalent to masculine energy in most spiritual and religious beliefs.
Sure.
And moon is considered feminine energy. The moon cycle also follows the cycle of a woman's period, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. Am I doing okay?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just scared.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take us through a few matriarchal cultures in history that I found that used the lunar calendar.
Oh, great.
I didn't do all of them that I found because this would have been a fucking 9-hour episode. And I was just like, nope.
We'll do each one of them in their own episode.
Yeah. So this is the oldest one I could find any information on online. I might butcher the name. Chattaholyuk, I believe is how you say it. Chattaholyuk.
Okay.
They were They started in 7100 BC,
Okay.
based in Turkey. It is believed that they are a matriarchy. Some people believe it was not a matriarchy or patriarchy, but the more I looked into like articles that were claiming these societies were not matriarchal, a lot of their argument was, well, the men had rights and the men had like positions of power. And I'm like, yeah, that's what a matriarchy is. The women are in charge of everything, so nobody's being oppressed.
Right.
That's like the whole point.
Men are stupid.
They really are. And every article I saw where people were like disagreeing that these places
How
were
could it
matriarchal.
possibly have been a matriarchy?
Yeah,
if
well, the
had
men were
rights?
allowed to have
It's like,
good.
because matriarchy isn't just patriarchy flipped over,
Yeah.
you idiots.
When women are in charge, we don't
Yeah.
enslave everybody and treat people as second-class citizens.
Yeah.
That's why.
The
But-
difference is fairness versus hierarchy,
Yeah.
not which gender is on top. You
Yeah.
fucking idiots.
But literally every article I read that was, trying to debunk that these were or matriarchal, it was just like, well, I mean, men also were in positions of power. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't mean that they were in
yeah.
charge of everything. And yeah, that's
that's
matriarchy. Yeah, it's
Matriarchy is-
equality.
Yeah. That's what matriarchy is.
Because that's what women choose when we get put into
Yes.
positions of power is, hey, everyone is allowed to be treated well.
Yes.
Like,
no one is oppressed. That's the one rule.
yeah. So there are some scholars that very much disagree with this, but it's very few.
I think they're stupid and I don't listen to them and
I
don't
agree.
believe them. And I think that men shouldn't be allowed to be scholars.
I agree.
I want a matriarchal patriarchy.
I want revenge. That's what I want.
That's basically
I would
what
be a terrible politician because I would be like, men can't vote or own property now.
sounds fair.
They were a community of 8,000 people, so very small. Many of the figurines found were of women, like goddesses that they worshipped. There were very few god figurines that were men. So it was very few.
They knew what was up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, if something created all life, it was probably a woman.
Yes.
Because women are the ones that create life.
And they probably make
Anyway.
better decisions because look at how we're thriving,
Yep.
They were believed to follow a lunar calendar that also timed rituals, feasts, and gatherings based on summer and winter solstices and equinox periods. This hasn't been fully confirmed, but based on just the evidence they've found and remains they found in the area, that is what is believed. Basically, they had evidence of early timekeeping that followed the cycles of the moon. So they believed that even though they didn't find calendars, that was their version
Do you know
of
what
a
the
calendar.
evidence was?
I might have written it in a different place. That's the
Oh,
problem.
no.
But yeah, I believe they had like markings on like walls and like whatever.
Moon phases or something.
Yeah, we're gonna cite a lot of the stuff that I found too, so people can read on it themselves and find out details I'm missing. So, and this is another note. I read multiple different articles that said it was believed that matriarchies came first.
Where
Like
matriarchies
Stone Age
definitely
humans?
came first. Yeah.
It is the reason they believe that because early humans, we were a lot more like animals where there were no like traditional marriages or relationships. Sex was just kind of a sporadic, like, random thing people did. And they didn't understand that it wasn't just women making babies in their body by themselves. So we began with worshiping women. And then it's believed that we became more patriarchal as we started going, oh, well, men help make the babies. And then men started getting there, and they're like, oh, well, you know what? We're better than you. Whatever. We could beat you
Well-
up. Fuck you,
Patriarchy really started when we started agriculture. When we gained the ability to cultivate our own crops, basically invented the idea of owning land, which also then created the concept of passing land down. And a lot of cultures did continue to do that in a matriarchal way where they would pass it down to the eldest daughter. Some cultures, especially once they started inventing things like the Abrahamic religions, switched to patriarchies during that time because certain men just wanted to fucking change the narrative. They wanted to try being in charge. And we've basically had like a 10,000 year experiment of what it would look like if men were on charge. And that has failed tremendously. We invented nuclear weapons. The whole planet is about to explode. Or that we created a climate change. None of that shit existed during the like 25 or more thousand years of matriarchies that we had going on. But now we've had like a tiny little period of time where men were in charge, and look what the fuck they did.
Yeah.
They ruined everything. So
Yep. Like, we still evolved as a species, which is great, but also we're destroying our planet to a degree where we might not be a species anymore if we don't do anything about it. So it's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought that was interesting. I read a few articles where it was like, well, we started with matriarchy because the earliest of humans did not understand that men were involved in making babies at all. So of course, automatically they're going to like think of women as better than.
It's just every once in a while they just like poop out new life. It's crazy.
Which is still true, because like, what do dudes do? They just pump into a bitch a couple times and then, you know, ask the doctor to give her an extra stitch at the end of the thing.
And then they go try to fight a wildcat and get their head ripped off or whatever.
Yeah. So our next culture that was matriarchal and also used a lunar calendar, the Minoans.
Okay.
So the Minoans were the first European culture of like civilized
Just
humans. The first one.
For period. Okay.
This is what they are considered to be. A lot of what we know of them is myth, and then there is some like factual evidence of what we know of these people because they were completely wiped out by like natural disasters. They were located on the island Crete in Greece.
Oh, sure. Yeah. They did have some natural disasters.
They sure did. This was approximately 5,000 years ago. They are considered to be matriarchal.
Are they really counting Crete as Europe?
Greece is Europe.
I know, but it's like basically Africa.
I mean, a lot of Southern Europe is, but
Yeah.
you know.
And honestly, like,
A lot of Southern Europeans are mixed with Middle Eastern and African.
Europe is not a real place. Europe is West Africa. Or no, West Asia. And then,
technically.
but because white people wanted to create white supremacy, they decided to call it a different continent, even though they're literally connected. They just
are.
literally decided to call it a different continent so they could act like they were superior to everyone else.
You know what? I hadn't thought of that, but you might be right.
I am
That's why
right.
you have Eurasia, where you have like
Yes.
Russian people that
It's
look like a little bit of both.
It's one continent.
It is all connected.
It's one landmass. It's not like it's separated by water.
There's no part of South Europe that's technically connected to North Africa, though, right?
It's pretty close.
It is really close.
It's pretty close at the base of Spain to like the north tip of Africa.
We covered this on an episode. Well, we didn't cover it.
When
as
we
a
talked
topic,
about
but
Atlantis,
it might have been that one, but like my
you go through the pillars of Heracles, which is like just you could see them both from the same place. You're like, oh look, that's Europe, and that's Africa. Like if you're on a boat, you could just see them both.
Like my dad's side of the family, some of my cousins got DNA tests and had like a pretty significant percentage of Moroccan or like some North African.
Yeah,
Because there's a history of like, you know, Spain and Portugal and Greece and all of them fighting with the Middle East and North Africa, and like a lot. Or it's the same reason a lot of
the first people were.
A lot of Middle Eastern people also look white because there's a history of the wars between all of those places, and you know, the raping that happens. You know,
so much raping.
Dudes love to do that, but yeah, that's why, like, you know. Like, my dad has a pretty dark skin tone, and he's a white guy, but, you know.
Well, there's no such thing as white, so.
There's no such thing as race. It's a social construct.
Yes,
it's all stupid. It's just physical characteristics.
There's zero genetic basis for race.
Yeah. And we're still talking about it anyway, so.
No, I love it. I don't love it at all. I fucking hate it so much.
I do too, but hopefully we'll move on to something better.
Matriarchy.
Literally. So, the Minoans were matriarchal, and they were considered feared and respected. There was a really good documentary I watched about this. It's on YouTube. I'm going to link that in our description as well.
Did they have trans leaders?
I should have cross-checked I should have.
Just saying, you know.
There is
we just
one
did a whole bunch of episodes about that, so.
There is one culture we touched on in those episodes that is also going to come up with the lunar calendar.
I love a crossover.
I know, right? So they had a strong position in the sea trade of the Mediterranean. So in the documentary I watched, they used some sort of excretion from the sea snail they had on their island that made the color purple, which was an expensive color in fabrics to purchase because royalty liked to wear this shade of purple, like war heroes. So they would make purple fabrics, and that was one of the things they sold. Bronze was another thing. And I guess it was a very wonderful, thriving country until, the earthquakes hit and took them out. Their calendars were written on papyrus and were not preserved, or they believe they were written on papyrus because that was also another thing that they traded quite a bit. The mythology of the Minoans hints at astronomical observations used to track time for spiritual practices. And it is believed that the Greek religion sets many of its original ideas from the Minoans.
The Greek religion?
Yeah, like modern or more modern Greek
like
societies.
all the gods and everything.
I don't actually know. I didn't. I was researching so much, so I didn't get the details about everything. But there was a civilization that came after the Minoans. They were called the Mycenaeans, and we have a lot more recorded record of like their calendar and the things that they believed in.
Okay.
And because they came directly after the Minoans and what we have found of the Minoans, they believe there were a lot of crossover from that.
Okay.
So most of the depictions of their gods and goddesses were it's the same as the Chattaholiok. It was mostly just goddesses. Most of their figurines that they worshipped they're really cool. We'll put this up on the screen as well. But it's just like this bad bitch with a snake going around her and her boobs are out. She's still got her titties out.
Okay.
There's like a snake that kind of like holds them, and she's got like this big hat thing on her head.
Is that like the statue that kept showing close-ups of in that movie Men?
Why would you remind me I saw that movie?
Because like
Don't watch the movie Men.
that movie has very little to say other than the fact that like women are the foundation of early society and all men have ruined it. It doesn't
movie's
have
not
anything
done
to
well.
say beyond that. It's not saying it particularly well. But there's a statue of like she's like pulling her vagina open.
No, it's not like
Okay.
that. It's just her titties are out.
Well, her titties are out in this one too.
Well,
but
yeah.
You never know. It's just one of those like classic like early statues depicting of worshiping a woman, basically.
Oh, got you.
There's tons of them. Every culture pretty much had them in the early days.
They did have a few depictions of gods, but they were very scarce. There were not that many. Based on the Mycenaeans and what we know of their culture, it is believed that the Minoans used a 99-month-long lunar calendar.
A 99-month lunar calendar.
Yes.
And they would like reset after 99 months?
I didn't really look into the details about that one because there were other things I was getting more details from.
Uh-huh.
Once I got to this part of my research, I was like, I want to keep this to a minimum so it doesn't get too long.
Yeah. I'm just trying to do the math on that. Like, what happens every 99 moons?
If they were 13-month-long calendars, what's the 13 times like 4, maybe? I don't know if they were basing it off of that. Usually the
13 times 3 is 39. So 6 is 78. So then you have 91, and then you have 104.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Because the moon is also... This was how long ago, you said?
This society was from 5,000 years ago.
Okay. So it wouldn't have been that different. But the moon has also been like... It used to be a lot closer to the Earth, and it's been slowly getting further away from the Earth.
Uh-huh.
Like every year, it's like an inch further away or whatever. And eventually it will be so far away that like we won't have eclipses anymore. It's just like slowly spiraling out.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, but like 5,000 years isn't long enough for that to have really
made
that
a
huge
difference.
of a difference. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm just doing math over here.
All good. We'll put some...
Just calculating the moon.
That was one thing when I was researching this topic in particular. I'm like, I feel like Chloe would have been better at this because I had to call you to help me with certain math things because I hate math.
Yeah.
I'm too lazy.
Just explaining what an axial tilt was.
Yeah. So the Minoans had stone tablets that had the exact same month names written down that the Mycenaeans used in their lunar calendar. So that's where they made that connection.
Okay.
And this theory is supported by archaeoastronomical studies. So the next culture is the Maori.
Oh.
Yes, they were matriarchal. They had a lunar calendar that they still use today. There was a website I found that has, all the information on their calendar that I want to. Gretchen.
She just wants to.
Her towel was like right in the camera.
Her towel.
Her tail. And then there was also the Iroquois natives.
Okay.
So in their culture, identity was passed down through the mother. They had a lunar calendar with 13 moons or months.
Is ideal.
Women were in charge, and men and women had separate roles, but both roles were looked at as important. Yeah, everything was passed down through the mother's lineage.
Sounds lit to me.
So, okay, the one thing I do want to touch on before we go into the solar calendars, there are some lunisolar calendars. For the most part, it's either solar or lunar.
Sure.
One of the more common lunar calendars, this one surprised me. Islam uses a lunar calendar.
Okay.
So the Islam's symbol, like their little
there's a moon in it.
It's a moon. Yeah, it's the crescent moon and then a star. Yeah. It's based off of the lunar calendar.
Makes sense.
So lunar solar usually uses intercalary rules.
Intercalary?
It basically means like a leap year or a leap month.
Oh, sure.
So they'll incorporate the sun to keep things on with the 4 seasons, things like that.
Yeah.
That's usually what a lunar solar calendar is used for.
A leap month.
Yes. So
That's fun.
A lot of lunar calendars will just do 12 months, and then if they want to keep the sun involved based on seasons and such, they'll sometimes have a leap month that they add randomly into the calendar. So they'll have 13 instead of 12. I've never thought about the calendar before. I had just heard people say that the Gregorian calendar doesn't make sense. And also it makes sense to have a lunar calendar, and it also revolves around a woman's period cycle. I'm like, I feel like that on its own makes sense. Because if you think about it, the sun just sets and rises every day. That's kind of the sun's whole thing. And the moon goes through a phase, which is more complex. You would think we would follow the more complex thing and then just consider the sun as a secondary thing. But I'm doing research. And so, okay, we're going to get into this. So I start my period on the full moon almost every month now, which I found out
means you're superpowered.
No, I mean, I like to believe that, but no. So apparently, based on what part of the world you live in, what part of the world women live in all across the world, and just anyone who has a period. For example, in North America, it is very common for women to have their menstrual cycle on or around the full moon. In Europe, it's the new moon is when they usually start theirs. So depending on where you are on the planet, where you're located, what continent, it can affect when your cycle tends to start based on the moon.
So bitches aren't syncing up with each other, they're syncing up with the moon?
That's what I kind of think.
Huh.
And there are people...
Because people always say, our cycles are syncing. And it's well, you're spending a lot of time in the same place every day, and the moon's hanging out in the same place and is affecting you all the same. That's interesting. That's interesting to think about.
They also found out women that get more moonlight on a regular basis are more likely to be synced up more with the moon, which I'm a midnight ballerina, so...
And you've always had a super syncy uppy period.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if it's just because I hang out at night a lot.
Yeah, it's because you're a night bitch.
I am. I'm the bitch of the night.
Ooh, I bet witches have superpower periods for sure.
No,
that's probably why witches, a lot of witches are their shit works.
Yeah, because they're more in tune with... Well, at the end of this whole thing, I want to touch on what I found.
Well, did you know that the moon is a spaceship?
All right, what movie was that?
Moonfall.
That's right. That movie, 20 minutes of that movie was just a fucking Lexus ad. It was so annoying. I was like, this is the most obvious ad that was just placed in a film. I'm irritated.
Why is this car outrunning gravity?
And he's driving it all cool. And doesn't he sell Lexuses?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a fucking Lexus ad.
That movie is terrible.
That movie, and it could have been good. The concept was kind of fun, but it was just
that director doesn't make good movies.
What other movies does that person make?
Think of any disaster movie that's come out since Independence Day, which he also did.
Black Hawk Down, is that one of them?
No, that's a war movie. That's not a disaster
never mind.
movie.
I haven't seen any movies, so I couldn't list one for
2012.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Day After Tomorrow.
Oh.
If there's a movie about the weather killing everybody, he made it.
It's that guy,
yes, he made it.
Oh, that's one. Okay. Oh, I'm all over the place. This is why I don't do the research. So before I get into the current calendars and how that evolved and why, I also watched a documentary separate on the Mayans calendar.
Okay.
And I didn't incorporate it because this is really specific to why patriarchy and the calendar we have based around a patriarchal society doesn't work and it's stupid. And the reason we even implemented it in the first place is dumb. But I watched that documentary whenever 2012 was about to happen and everyone was freaking out about it.
Sure.
They interview actual indigenous people from the Mayan culture.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, whenever everyone was freaking out about it, like, we were like, why are they all freaking out about it? Like, yeah, there's going to be like man-made natural disasters that are happening. We have predicted that, but also it's, you know, like, we have a chance to correct it. And we're not saying that the calendar just, we're going to die in 2012. That's something they made up.
It's just like the
and
end
like
of a
ran
cycle.
with. Yeah. It was the beginning of a new cycle, if anything. Because that year there started being natural disasters.
I feel
and
like the
everyone
end
freaked
of a
out.
cycle and the beginning of a cycle happened at the same time.
Yeah, that's kind of how that works.
I feel like those are the same thing.
Thanks, Chloe. I'm nervous and you're making it worse. I'm trying to do this and not sound like a dumbass bitch. Like,
You don't sound dumb.
but their calendar was fascinating because it is technically a solar calendar, but it considers the moon. I want you to watch it because the number thing will make sense to you immediately.
Sure.
But they had like this 20-day and then 13-day cycle thing incorporated into their calendar. I forget exactly what it was. It's like 12 and 13, and it's based off of like I think the pressure points in your body, or like it's your joints in your body. There's like, I think 13 of them, and then the number 20 signifies your 10 fingers and 10 toes. But the way they did the calendar, it actually makes a lot of sense and it predicts a lot of stuff. Towards the end of the documentary, they're interviewing one of the indigenous guys, and he's just basically like, before this, we had a society where we were in tune with nature, and we've forgotten that, and that's why we're having these disasters, because we have lost connection with nature.
Yeah, we decided to kill nature and use it instead of befriending it, which is why I started the episode complaining about the elephants being hurt, because
These
we're
were cave
supposed to
people.
be connected to nature.
What if they needed
We're supposed
food?
to go hug the trees and
What
let
if
them
they-
know that they're loved.
And that's fine, but also sometimes you gotta eat an elephant. I wouldn't eat an elephant, but you know what I mean.
Indigenous people did that way smarter, where they were
They did.
if you're gonna do it, you have to use every part of it.
And
you know?
also you want
not like
to
these
kill
fucking trophy
ethically.
hunters out here. Yes,
You also wanna
make
kill-
it not painful.
So a fun fact, if you're fishing, when you kill a fish, like when you a lot of people will throw it in their ice bucket and let it just like die slowly that way, and it actually makes the meat go bad faster.
Yeah.
And makes the meat taste worse. You want to hit it on the head, like where its brain is located, really hard, and it kills it instantly, or stab it with a knife there, kills it instantly, it feels no pain, and the meat will last longer and it will taste better because it's not releasing cortisol and stuff. I
Makes a
believe
lot
that
of
indigenous
sense.
cultures were doing that before
Yeah.
we started getting crazy. The last thing one of them said at the end of the documentary was, the best thing you can do in this new cycle is teach people to love and care for each other.
Well, I'm doing great.
I mean, I feel
I'm right on the right path.
I don't know, if somebody sucks, I'll still tell them to fuck off though, but like,
That's not. You can do both. You can tell people they suck and also teach people to love each other.
that is also true.
You
There's
know, not every person is going to be able to learn to love each other.
Yeah.
Not every person wants to learn to love each other. So
Yeah.
you can't fix everybody, but
Yeah.
you can push the energy of love into the world. You know, just slip Molly into everyone's drinks or whatever.
literally, oh my god, if everyone just took some Molly, we'd be in a
Yeah.
better place all at the same time.
We just gotta-
Unless they have like a
just
history of
one day-
schizophrenia or
right,
something.
Yeah,
in their
just one day a year in the school lunches.
I would have gone to school all the time.
You're like, I don't know, today might be Molly Day, you know? They don't tell you what it's going to be. What? Just one of these
Anybody
days?
who doesn't get sarcasm, if you're a child, you should not be doing
Yes.
MDMA. Please don't actually do that.
Children aren't seeing our videos.
No,
they're,
but like,
they're clicked for
what
whatever.
if parents that have kids are seeing them and they're like, these people are crazy?
I don't condone drugging children.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, I don't condone drugging children.
Yeah, but if I could do it again, I'd be doing Molly at school. I'm kidding. No, when you're a kid, you shouldn't be doing hard drugs.
As an educator, I shouldn't be saying things like that in a public setting, but I would never actually do that.
Yeah, I
But
know.
I will tell my students that they should be kinder to people.
Yeah.
And I will point out things that they're doing that are harming people,
Yeah.
such as using AI.
Yeah.
I had a long conversation with one of my students the other day about that, where she was like,
remember
I
you told
spend
me.
all my time watching AI videos. And I was like, oh, so you're killing people. And she,
Did you say
yeah,
it like that?
I did. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, the data centers that process the information that create those videos, they build them in black communities and poison them. And their children are born with birth defects and cancer. And they're doing it on purpose. Like the AI companies, the people who own the companies are choosing black neighborhoods specifically because they're white supremacists and they want to kill them, but then they're like, well, we won't do it. We'll just like let the AI do it. We won't tell anybody that if they keep using AI, it'll kill people. And she was like, well, now I don't want to use it anymore. And I was like, good.
Yeah, seriously.
Great.
Don't do it.
There's plenty of other videos on the internet.
Like, you watch real people making
I'm sure
videos.
E-Bomb's world is still there, you know? Go watch some old shit. The classics.
Rules.
Yeah, whatever.
So, Julius Caesar.
What a guy.
There's a lot I did not know about this man. I know his name comes up a lot to this day. We have my favorite type of salad is a Caesar salad.
Yep.
I know he got stabbed.
Yep. There was the whole conversation in like 3 years ago when everyone was like talking about the Roman Empire and the fact that men think about it like 6 times a week.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that's why his name comes up all the time.
Yeah, I think men think about the Roman Empire because they're all gay and they were very gay in the Roman Empire.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
That's what I think.
Would have been so nice to be around
Yeah,
back then.
fuck my buddy in the ass and then go to battle.
Yeah, fuck my buddy in the ass during battle.
Literally. They probably watched 300 and they're like, oh.
Yeah, look at all those abs. Ooh.
Most men are bisexual or gay and just won't admit it to themselves. And the
that's
world
true.
would be a better place if they would just admit it to themselves. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I just knew he was a great ruler in the Roman Empire. I didn't know much about him.
Well,
Well, that's what the history books teach you. Well, okay, listen, let me
they
debunk.
tell you he's an important
Okay,
ruler. I don't know.
can I just do my thing here? So Julius Caesar is basically like Donald Trump, and so
Yeah.
was all of his advisors. And so let me tell you why.
Yeah, he's a big fascist.
He
He's
proposed.
early fascist.
So before the Gregorian calendar, which is what we have now, we had the Julian calendar.
Right. Which he basically invented for himself.
He proposed this in 46 BC. The reasoning is unclear, but a lot
Sounds
of
like he was like, I'm tired of these women making all the calendars. I want to be the calendar.
I don't even think
it's gonna be me,
A
the
bitch.
calendar.
I don't even think it was that. So Julius Caesar proposed the Julian calendar in 46 BC. It took effect January 1st, 45 BC.
Okay.
He hired an Alexandrian astronomer
Okay.
who told him to do away with the lunar calendar. And that year was the
They were
longest.
like, fuck the moon.
Yeah. So the reason they did this was because some people would manipulate the lunar calendar to make terms for other politicians longer and to manipulate elections. So, like, if somebody was supposed to be out of office a month or two ago, they could kind of manipulate it easier.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if people don't have like a unified system of tracking shit,
Yeah.
they could just decide to do that. And
Yeah.
back in the day, why not?
That this is why patriarchy took it over, because they're like, oh, well, like, all of this is, we want exact terms so we can rise to power if we want. You know, it's all very like man thinking.
Men.
The guy that he hired was off by 11 minutes.
Yeah, because he just, I mean, and we still, like, to this day, we're slightly wrong, right?
Yes. So the Julian calendar's average year is 365.25 days long. The Gregorian calendar is 365.2419 days. So we had the Julian calendar. There are a few cultures that still use the Julian calendar. They still, like, the whole world uses the Gregorian calendar, right? Like, across the board. There are some in their religious practices that use the Julian calendar, or they might use a lunar calendar.
But some people say that the new year starts at different times.
Yeah, and it's mostly in, like, Asia is where that's most common. So the places that use the Julian calendar are the Eastern Orthodox Church, parts of Oriental Orthodoxy, and the Amazigh people, or the Berbers.
Okay.
The Julian calendar gains 1 day every 129 years.
Oh, you mean like it fucks off a day every 129 years?
Yeah, like we have an extra day. So
right.
So which brings me to the Gregorian calendar, which we're in now.
That would make sense.
Yeah. So the Gregorian calendar went into effect October 1582. Following the papal bull, which was like a public decree, like announcement from, the Pope and the Catholic Church, issued by Pope Gregory the 13th. It was a replacement for the Julian calendar. So the reason for this was to space the leap years slightly differently because Easter falls in the springtime, and the Catholic Church didn't like that Easter was starting to fall into different seasons because the Julian calendar was slightly too long.
Sure.
So they wanted to keep their holiday when they wanted it, so everyone remembered it. And, it was basically the Catholic Church reaching for, we want to be the dominant.
They're like, we need the season of rebirth to be aligned with when we decided Jesus was reborn or whatever. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
We're going to make it all up. All the dates are fake. We're a fake religion anyway.
Stupid. And the word calendar comes from the Roman word calendus.
Okay.
Which means the day that people collect debts, taxes, and record interest. So a lot of the solar calendar is based around people paying taxes. Even the word itself is like, hey, we pay taxes, calendar. I'm just like simplifying it now because I'm like...
So it's literally called your taxes are due?
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
What month is it in that your taxes are due?
So they would record debts.
So
they would record debts on the first of the month, which is basically what we do now with rent being due.
But were they were like paying taxes every month?
I don't know that they were.
I mean, arguably, like we're technically sort of still supposed to do that, but also they'll let you just pay it at the end of the year.
Yeah. Or people do it quarterly, whatever.
Right.
But it's also just anything, debts. Were like, it's not just taxes, it's also debts.
Right.
So like rent would be a debt,
Right.
Like a car payment. They didn't have cars back then, but you know what I mean? Like whatever it is they were paying for back then.
A buggy payment, a horse payment, armor and sword down payment.
But patriarchy and the solar calendar is rooted in capitalism and power. All of it makes sense if we track the moon and then also consider the sun.
I don't want to track the moon in a world where we pay rent every month because that adds a whole nother month.
Literally.
And they'd be like, oh, you know what? We could get an extra rent payment out of these motherfuckers.
Yeah. No, we need to do away with our whole system.
These proletariat bitches.
But basically, Julius Caesar and Pope Gregory the 13th were the two main guys in our modern history that kind of came in and they were like, we're going to make this a world thing. And these are the calendars we're going to follow. It's based around the sun.
We're in charge.
And both of those calendars are named after these guys. Everything's an ego thing with them. So that's the other thing.
True.
So you know how our
our numbskulls?
That too.
Or what?
You know how our months are labeled dumb?
You mean they have dumb names?
Like September would be 7.
Yeah.
But it's the 9th month.
Yeah.
October 8, but it's the 10th month.
Yeah.
So
they just like added a couple in there and fucked everything off a little bit.
So August and July. So after Julius Caesar passed away, who was the guy that named that month after him?
Was it Augustus?
It was Augustus. So Augustus named July after Julius Caesar in his to honor his memory. And then Augustus wanted his own month, August, and wanted it to be just as long as Julius Caesar's month. So they took a day from February.
Wow.
So that's why February is so fucking short and none of our months make any sense.
My month is
because
just
of
as
the egos
important.
of dumb men.
My month is just as important as Julius Caesar's month. Give me an extra day, steal it from February.
But it's stupid.
That's-
And the reason
yeah.
we switched to the Gregorian calendar, one of the main reasons he did it was because, well, the seasons are off. It wasn't just like, oh, this is way too long of a calendar and we can't track our seasons. It's Catholic Church. Everyone needs to remember Easter's in the spring. Like,
I mean, look, it makes perfect sense to me. Everyone must remember our dumb holidays that we made up and our dumb people that we named everything after.
there was also,
Don't think about the fucking moon. Don't even look at her. Don't even look at the moon.
I feel like that's exactly how that went down.
Look at the invisible God man in the sky. Don't look at the moon. No, that's fake. Fake news. Fake moose.
Fake me's.
Fake moons.
You were hella clipping while you were doing that yelling. I'm gonna have to.
New moons. Whatever. Fucking clip me up.
You're already clipped.
Good.
It's your
Good.
fault.
Declipify me.
I will figure it out.
Ask Clippy for help.
I'm like, we need to get that tattoo.
We do. Yeah, we'll work on it.
But in short, the way we track time is just based off of capitalism and patriarchy. I think it is a better system. So with lunar solar, you basically add leap years or like leap months to like align seasons and stuff,
Sure.
which I think is probably the better way to do it, is really
Yeah.
have a hybrid of the two.
Yeah, you roughly want to know when your seasons
Yeah.
are going to be.
You know, it helps out. But like, this is the other thing that's fascinating about all of these calendars, including the one we have now. It's all based in spiritual beliefs and religion. And I think there's a link there that we lost because of the Catholic Church and like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
because Catholicism's stupid.
Well,
It's not-
Catholicism also like went around and found all the communities that were still connected with nature and killed them.
Yeah. And now we have the Pope that was like, well, Easter needs to be in the spring. And it's just like, why aren't we paying attention to like nature? And I feel like the more ancient calendars, especially the ones that followed specifically the moon, or the ones that kind of kept track of both,
Yeah.
they were better at predicting things.
Yeah.
They didn't have as much chaotic nature shit like we do because they were paying attention to all of that. So back to the astrology thing, because the current astrology we have, it's tropical astrology, which tropical astrology is based around the solar calendar, which
Oh,
we have,
sure. Yeah.
which I also don't think is 100% accurate. The Gregorian
Definitely not.
Gregorian is more accurate than the Julian calendar, but still, I believe whatever version of astrology we had before tropical astrology is probably the most accurate. And even though maybe science can't fully explain
the
it,
Mayan version of astrology, whatever that would have been.
I don't know that they necessarily had astrology.
I mean,
but
they wouldn't have, but they were tracking more celestial bodies more often and
Yeah.
accurately based on what you just told me
I wish I had
with their big
researched.
gear thing.
I wish I had researched like Indian cultures and their calendars now, because I know Vedic
I'm
astrology.
honestly surprised you didn't.
Bitch, I have a hard time with this shit. So it just makes me feel like what we were saying in the episodes about indigenous cultures that, you know, accepted trans people and like some of their belief systems. I feel like there was spiritual beliefs that we've lost that were more accurate than anything we have now. Like
Absolutely.
all of these man-made
Yeah.
religions that were made for like egos and
You know what? I saw
collecting
somebody.
money.
I
Like,
saw somebody point something out today that I hadn't thought about, but is so true. Is that the three major religions that have sort of taken off in the last 2,000 years, right? Maybe some of them a little before, some of them a little after, whatever. The three major religions right now that all started in the same place, in the desert, right? And the things in all those books that are kind of the same are things like, don't eat this, like, don't do this with the fabric, don't do that. It's all desert rules. It's rules that apply to if you're living in a desert.
yeah.
And they've taken those rules and they've
applied it
spread
to
them
everything.
everywhere. And so we're all everywhere that's following those rules is living as though we're in a desert.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that we are heating the planet in such a way that we're basically turning the whole thing
Planet into a desert.
into a desert.
That's interesting, but you are right.
They're desert faiths that have decided to turn the whole world into
it,
desert.
and it doesn't work in every part of the world.
Those rules existed and made sense in a desert.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are, let's say, in the Amazon rainforest and you try to follow Christian law, you're going to be like, this is going to kill us. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense. These rules don't apply here.
Also, if you read like the Old Testament, the Torah, same thing.
Yep.
If you read any of the scripture from these man-based religions, their God sounds like a psychopath that wants to like emotionally abuse everybody.
Yeah. Which I think if you spent too long in the desert, you would think that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I would think whatever God was like hated me. And
why are you trying
to
kill me? You're trying to set me on fire.
Yeah, it's like a billion degrees. There's no water.
Oh, that's
I can't find food. Yeah,
that's how you come up with the concept of hell too.
Yeah, I've never thought of that, but you are correct.
It's all desert. It's all desert shit.
Yeah, and even like the lunar spiritual beliefs, like you can apply those to the desert, and it'll probably work better. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun to see you guys again. Happy New Year. It's probably already 2026 by the time you're actually watching or listening to this.
Hopefully it'll be better than this year, because this year was a nightmare.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I don't want to have to do a bunch of, shady shit, but like we might have to.
That's what it's feeling like. Like, how are we going to get these fuckers out of office?
They're not going to leave. They're not just going to leave.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Anyway, 2026. Let's do this. That's the slogan for the year.
Let's do this.
Let's fucking do this.
Let's fucking do this.
I guess.
2026. Let's do this, I guess.
2026. Fine. I'll do it. 2026. If you say so, if I have to.
Tune into our next episode. We're going to be going over trans terminology and what everything means.
Oh, there's so much terminology.
There is so much terminology and
we're going to dive down some rabbit holes.
Yeah, and we're also going to be debunking a lot of bullshit that people like to quote. Even some shit that I used to quote that I didn't realize was based in Nazi ideology. Crazy. So tune in for our next episode.
Yeah. On trans words and terms. We go talk about autogynephilia, the difference. Yeah. Anyway, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be even more interesting than you think it is.
Yes.
So
if you're just listening from like Apple or something, follow. If you are watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. We love you.
Yeah. Send us an email, ladyandthetranspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. Love you.
We
Bye.
love you.
Yeah. Lady and the Trans Podcast. Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science.